and then it pushes to rotate the clutch arm. Free trick. It's not very cheap though. But if you buy a KTM 250F, you're gonna spend a lot more money on the bike itself than a Yamaha 250F, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I guess you can afford the budget for your...
You got budget. What else you got out that's secret?
Probably the biggest thing is I do big bore this bike. So I have an Athena 300 kit. Just a big jug on this thing, but still the stock head. I didn't do any porting. No, nothing. So it's just a 300 cylinder and piston with a GET ECU. So I have that mapped to be for a 300. Yeah. So HP Performance out of Texas did the mapping for me, and then we've been going back and forth. And then I just did a whole bunch of data acquisition, which I felt like a scientist. With wires everywhere and the exhaust bung and O2 sensor.
Nice.
Yeah. So
the O2 sensor's the key.
like with hard enduro, I don't really care about peak power. Like everyone's like, you need more power, and they just send me photos with it. I'm like, no, I don't. Like, I want reliability. I'm already on a 4-stroke. They already run hotter. Everyone freaks out that it's not going to last, and so far I've been proving them wrong. But yeah, I run the engine minus the big bore like as stock as possible. No motor work. Keep it reliable. I think I'm going to port it for enduro cross this year.
Yeah.
For that, it'll be good. But for hard enduro, I need this thing to last 3 hours. So
Very true.
I run the Steely flywheel weights. I was running the GYTR flywheel weight, and they're like, this is the most weight we can get in here with being safe, but Steely makes a bigger weight. So I'm running Steely's weight. We run like pretty wild gearing for hard enduro, like stock I think is 1351.
Yeah, what are you at on this?
So I'm running 1252. And then I use first gear and the nar
ratio.
I don't know. I've gone back and forth, but it's kind of what I'm stuck on now for all the techie stuff. This is the Swiss cheese mousse. I've gone back and forth a bunch. It's stiff. It's probably stiffer than you'd run, but I was hoping I'd break it in a little bit more for today. I have a softer used Swiss cheese mousse I might have to use for tomorrow. But I like the Swiss cheese full mousse. Like, I've shaved them a bunch, and there definitely is a time and a place to shave your mousse, but that's mostly on the East Coast. Slower speeds, way more moisture. And here it's like, you rode the Pro Law today, it was kind of a little bit faster in sections. You don't be able to hit stuff hard. So the Swiss cheese mousse fills out the tire, but then you have all that material taken out, so it still has that give.
Yeah.
And you don't have to worry like about slamming the rim too hard. And I hate that feeling when you're just like, ugh.
It's the worst. So basically, it's not a plushie. It's a regular mousse, Swiss cheese to give you
I mean,
the
I have
plushie
a
feel.
you can run a plushie in there. I go back and forth all the time if I have a plushie or harder style one, but Swiss cheese mousse helps, I think, almost more. A lot of times the plushies, they don't, obviously it's more like a race mousse, right? Like, you could put one, but you're not going to get a ton of time on it if you're an average guy.
Yeah.
And it all depends on what your purpose is, right? Like, if you want to race, a plushie is a great mousse option, but you want to do a big, huge ride in Idaho in the mountains and for it to last a week, a stiffer option is probably going to be better for you.
Yep. Probably do it.
And lots of lube.
Oh yeah.
That.
What about
I do have like a special clutch in here too. Minus, I know I have this clutch, but I had issues in Hawaii where I lost my stock clutch. So I have photos I can't even share of my clutch. It's pretty secret.
Top secret.
Top secret. It's a modified Rekluse torque drive.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, they have Apex, but I couldn't get it to work with my hydro clutch, so I got my own special sauce that I kind of had to figure out on my own to make it work.
I liked it. Well, yeah, with the torque drive.
Engineering. Oh, and then this isn't a recommendation for everyone, but for myself, I run the G2 throttle housing and Throttle 2, but I run their 400 cam, which is like their slowest throttle cam. And I don't know, I haven't ridden any of the other 4-stroke models, but the Yamaha is a punchy 250F. Like, it is, it's like very jerky, and that's good, but it's also bad sometimes when you're trying to ride in hard enduro. It's more going to be more prone to stall. So just for like ease of myself, and I felt like I was fighting the bike too much with the stock throttle cam, so I'm running a 400 cam, slower throttle from G2, and obviously it's a lot more strong and not likely to break compared to a stock housing as well.
I like it.
I feel like most people probably wouldn't run a slow cam on a 4-stroke, so it already kind of has that slower, torquey feel. But the Yamaha, I was like, this bike is very finicky.
Yeah.
It wants to go, and I'm not ready to go yet. And I put this fun dude out on.
Oh yeah.
My
Your
quick
button?
snap, my button.
Awesome.
I don't know. Looks factory. But
Regular
don't look
full
behind
kit?
it, it's kind of janky under there. For now, I'm on this bike. It's been fun. Hasn't been as much work for me to play with. I was kind of scratching my head there for a while on the YZ250 platform, but I know I'm letting a lot of people down, but there's still hope. I'll bring it back.
I like it.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Dude, honestly, like the course we rode today for the prologue, unreal. Like it's so planted and that little bit easier, like medium enduro terrain. And this is, you know, it's still 6-speed, so I have like a more traditional wide ratio transmission, whereas like I put an old WR transmission in a YZ250 and it was honestly good, but it was like way too much work. Like I kind of could just bolt on some decent stuff on this bike and go off to the races. And
Yeah.
there's still, you know, the YZ250 was a supercross platform engine from late 90s, 99.
Yeah.
Slight modifications, new frame update, and it's the funnest bike I think you can ever ride. But she's a little feisty in the hard enduro scenarios. So, you know, and this bike's just seen more development through the years. So it's for myself and probably, I don't know about most all other hard enduro riders, but majority of people, it's a little bit easier just to kind of take this bike and make some modifications to it, and it rides really well, really nice, awesome trail bike with, you know, it takes some money and effort, but wet bike doesn't do that at the factory level. So
Yeah, you got to.
it was sweet out there today.
I got one more question for you.
Yeah.
So, the frame down here, when I first started, I only started getting into hard enduro like 3 years ago.
Yeah.
And I had this awesome 450FX, it's a Husqvarna, bought it brand new, and I destroyed it in about 4 months. Because I collapsed my frame, and then it started punching into my case.
So steel tubing starts bending.
Oh yeah. So how do these hold up? And is there anything you're doing to brace that and give it more support?
Yeah, so we're actually not bracing the frame at all, and I've done one frame out of quite a bit of Yamaha that I've had the last 2 years, and it actually wasn't from the bottom of the frame, it was the 2-stroke, and I had hit the pipe so many times, or replaced the pipe so many times, I had like a nutsert in the frame, and I popped the nutsert out, and like it still worked, but if I sold the bike, someone wouldn't be happy, so I replaced the frame, and I don't know, this aluminum tubing must be really thick on this bike. It hasn't really been an issue with the frame on the Japanese bikes, but I think on the, at least for Yamaha, but the swing arm is definitely more of a motocross style swing arm than a KTM or
a little bit lighter
or Beta. Definitely a lighter swing arm. I've never really gone through too many swing arms in the past, and I haven't broken these tabs off, knock on wood, wherever. I'll find some wood around here after I said that. But the material on the swing arm is just thinner, I think, because I've damaged these. I haven't broken anything, but
That's good.
You know, I'm trying to do a factory supported program here, so if something starts looking a little ugly, I'm going to change it out to keep Yamaha happy. But
I like it.
the you know, they just don't put as much gusseting or beefing up the swing arm like some of the other brands, like more traditional enduro bikes like do. The anodizing is kind of wearing off, but I run those Luxon motor mounts too. They're like the rubber dampening type ones. Yeah. On the muffler, I run the Sparky insert. For a 4-stroke, it helps with hard enduro stuff.
It helps with like bottom.
Because you still have snap, but it has a little more bottom that way, you know?
Okay.
I thought.